In which year did the UK pay its last reparations to families of slave owners?
I know, like, they've still been paying them slave owners.
1870. The British are they're invaders. They come over to Ireland, they pillage us, they take our potatoes.
1999?
I think they should still pay. Look what they done.
Well, no, that was to slave owners.
Oh, to slave owners?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit crazy if you ask me.
You were both born.
How do you know? Might be younger than we look.
If you were this young, you would be Benjamin Button.
2011.
2021.
Take away 6 years.
I can't do maths.
2015.
Correct, 2015.
That is a very, very bad sign.
Attention, player haters and overrated disbelievers of all kinds. I stand before you today 10 toes down as the bearer of bad news. Y'all done fucked up.
I said I'm never coming back again. Next I stepped away from the mirror. I got my mind made up now, cause I can see the future much clearer.
Okay, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber died trying. You see the thumbnail, more importantly, you saw the clip. So let's talk about reparations across the pond, versus what's going on here. Now, that's 2015. And I was tripping, but when you see people on the internet talking about, foundational Black Americans don't deserve this or that, they're usually from, if they're Black, they're usually from Africa or the Caribbean, however you want to say it, right? But they never talk about this. They never talk about how, when was the last, payment of reparations to slave owners from Britain in 2015, 10 years ago. But when we talk about Black Americans, it's like, oh, people don't deserve anything, yada, yada. You shouldn't pay out reparations, yada, yada, yada. And then it's hypocritical because you're so busy focused on us. We can obviously see what's going on with y'all. But let me add another little thing, because people say people don't deserve reparations, people don't deserve this, don't deserve that. So I had to look it up because I remember they had payments for white people or slave owners or whatever, but they also had payments for the Confederates. So the last known beneficiary is Irene Triplett, dying in May of 2020, effectively ending payments from the era almost 155 years after the war, notes HistoryNet. So they was paying Confederate veterans and their families. So think about that. Since we talk about reparations, the Confederates lost the war and they were paying their families until 2020. But now that's in America. Then across the pond, they were paying slave owners' families until 2015, who were no longer in Britain. Some of them were no longer in Britain. They were, from Africa and the Caribbean. But we're supposed to just say, we don't know anything about these things. So here's the number one issue. Should Black Americans start going to Britain and say, if Black Brits want reparations? No. Should we go to to Britain and go to when the Caribbean say, yo, we got CARICOM because we want our reparations from Britain? Should we say no, they don't deserve it because of they don't work hard? If you look at the country, the country's only successful because white people are exploiting it. And if you give all of these Caribbeans money, oh my God, they're gonna blow it on, I don't know. They're gonna say jerk chicken and weed and new costumes for what do you call that? For carnival? Like what are we gonna say? What people gonna say? They're gonna blow it at soca concerts. That's what we're gonna say. They're not gonna do anything. They're already lazy. Like that's what's gonna happen. Because, you know, it's hypocritical. Or should we start, moving to the UK and the Caribbean and Africa and interjecting ourselves in y'all politics? As a first generation, whatever, I think y'all are trip. I think you people who've been here don't have been done nothing wrong because I've been here 7 days. Looks good to me. My family came here on a vacation and I decided to stay, and you guys are just complaining. And the other part, when the Irish dude was talking, because Ireland and Britain have this love hate relationship. What I mean in Europe, they don't like each other, but when they got to America and the Caribbean and Africa, oh, we on team. Fuck them niggas. You know, they stole our potatoes, but you know, they say we were slaves too for 7 weeks. It's the same thing, brother. No. Yeah. And then when they told us we could be white, we weren't slaves no more. We didn't know you no more. You're beneath us. You went from being our brother to nigger really quick. So, but we're not supposed to address this type of stuff, like, because we're Americans, and people think Americans live in a bubble. We do live in a bubble, but we got eyes we can see though. Like we can see what's going on in other places. The hypocrisies here and the hypocrisies abroad, and how people come here and bring their hypocrisies here. you know, and then even the Asian guy was like, "Hey, the Asian guy was the only one that knew." If I'm not mistaken, there's an Asian guy who's like, "Yeah, it's 2015." The white people didn't know, which is a lie. White people always don't know when they are participating in and benefiting from and living, with the what do you call that, in the under the shadow of racism. And I just never knew that. That is kind of messed up. Do 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 do. It's so good to be me. It's kind of crazy. Now, this is the other part that isn't talked about enough. Are you blacks going? Are you black folks? Or you from Africa and the Caribbean? Y'all are y'all really gonna? Are you really trying to push for this stuff and bring this stuff to the forefront? Because we get, I can see ever since the quote unquote FBA movement started, it really, and that was pretty much in the beginning. It wasn't delineation, just it was for reparations purposes. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of people who wasn't Black Americans came out with a no or a resounding no, right? So all skin folk ain't kinfolk. So now because of this, this is why. Let me pivot and say it this way. So is this why y'all tell us to live and let live? Because where you're at, you really not pushing a line on this. It's just whatever. See, it comes off to us at sometimes because they say uh, they give a stereotype of black men. If you give a black man a white woman, and now it's a black woman a white man, then all of the ills of history goes away. It comes across to us, you know, that's more of a African or Caribbean mentality because we have the interracial dating thing here, and we got people cooning here, but we still push the line on this reparations thing. You get what I'm saying? So we're not that assimilated. I'll say that. So to me, this is kind of a What y'all gonna do? While y'all sitting here pointing the finger at us all the time, what are y'all gonna do? Because because we gonna focus on us, but we could turn around and go, what about this? But you tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.